nice is to see Mikola out there today?
Oh, yeah. I would say that it was precautionary. We're careful about all kind of injuries, I guess. But good to have him back. He plays hard every night, and he's always got an ice bag on something. So, but he was fine the next day. He thought he was ready to go.
And obviously, this is a big game for Brad tomorrow. Just as someone that spent the last 7 months with him, what have you maybe learned about him in that time you didn't know before?
I think be accused of being blind, but I don't think you fully appreciate somebody's hands until you get on the ice with them in practice. And you can see it in the game. And he scored a couple of goals in the final that were just incredible. But that was the first kind of, hey, I didn't really know that. It's like Matthew Tkachuk's hands. Most of the incredible stuff gets pulled off in practice, where they get a little more room. They're trying stuff. So that would have been the first thing. And everything else was as advertised. He's a gamer. He's just loves coming to the rink. We've had, I think they're really important, some of the older players, and we've had that. We had Eric Stahl and Mark, really, but Eric, his love of the game allowed him to go from being an all-star centerman to our fourth-line center, and love it. Love coming to the rink. So good for the young players to see an older veteran champion come to the rink and seemingly love all parts of it. Excited about the breakfast we're getting. You know, he's just wired from the time he gets up. So that joy that he brings to the rink, it's great for the young players to see somebody that hasn't, jaded's not road, but after a while, maybe you stop noticing all the good things that we have here, and he appreciates it.
A lot of leadership out of the lineup. Did that change anything for Brad, or is he just himself?
No, he was full on, like, usually it takes you a couple of weeks, get to know the new guys before you're walking around the room, chirping everybody. It was the first hour. He did that in an hour. Got that figured out. So he's been himself and vocal, and those of you who've covered Boston for years, incredibly positive, even when things aren't going right. He's the guy trying to fix it, and he's the guy talking about it. So he's been a great leader for us. The captains on teams, they learn that leadership craft over time, and he has it. Awesome. Oh, it was so close. We were right there.
But out there, obviously, a lot of special teams work today, some different looks
Why?
on power play. But just specifically, Anton, on PP1, just
Yeah.
how big an element is what he's been doing in the face-off circle or getting them up
Well,
there?
that's a starting point for sure. We've been breaking a lot of pucks out to start our power play, which can be challenging. And then it's a place, we've got him on the half wall. It's a place that he believes that over time he would ascend to at some point. That's, where Barkey is. So he's played it before. He wants it. He's excited about it. And we just felt now it's our best option to kind of move some people around, change the units up a little bit. We put 15 shots on goal. So we're going to get a little better perhaps net front, but you don't get too many power play nights where you get 15 on goal because you still miss the net on a bunch, got a bunch blocked. So that part was right. I thought our pace was right, the speed was right. We just want to try some different people. Maybe they can get it off a little quicker, change the hands on some positions. So keep moving forward.
Your team played in the Global Series.
Yeah.
What does a Global Series trip do for a team?
It does at times give you something to look forward to in terms of the monotony of an NHL season. I think if you get a little older team, they can look at an 82-game schedule, and that's why those outdoor games and I think they're fantastic for the league, but they're really great for the players. It's a different kind of bonding. What I thought was, for us, was so impactful is that we have the 4 Finnish players that played, but Tuomo Ruutu's on the coaching staff. That's Bill Zito had played in Finland. But it gave those 5 guys a chance to kind of showcase their country, and they're very proud of it. And our guys, it was full buy-in. There was saunas every day, and you saw it. Got to see them as people and experience a different culture, but the monotony of it, of the league, that is just such an unusual thing. And you don't do it every year, so it's kind of a treat. And I think there's a long-term payoff there, the bonding, right? I don't know if this is true, but the context of bonding is critically important. So if you go to the same restaurant, you sit in the same seats every day, your whole team, yeah, they're together, but you need actually the context to kind of change and reinforce, maybe create new bonds, new friendships, or just a better sense of connection. And that's a major change in context. So it makes the bonding different, I believe.
Paul, the speed of Forsling's shot, how does that impact the game and what you guys are trying to do?
I think that's why nobody wants to stand in front of the net. It's kind of that's my pet peeve. That's what I'm all over right now. Interesting. And I'm not much of a stats guy. I think he had over 40 points last year and doesn't play in the power play. Scoring goals and generating offense 5-on-5 from the blue line is very, very difficult to do, especially in his style. So we have other hyper-dynamic young defensemen that usually skate incredibly, and they generate on this kind of talent. He does it in structure, right? He gets that puck off the wall, he gets it to the net very hard, very quickly, and creates rebounds. Occasionally he beats the goalies. It's hard to put up big numbers if you're not on a power play. So you would say, well, put him on your power play. What's the holdup? Because of the other hands, we work it from the other side of the ice, and we run his minutes so high, 5-on-5 and penalty kill, it's like a give or take. You may see that at some point. If we keep running overs, we may see him shoot that puck, but it does change your offensive game when you can get a guy, and he's not missing the net or picking the upper corners. He's putting it in a place that we can create some things out of it as well.
There's going to be two teams tomorrow night trying to end a losing streaks. What does your team need to do to get out of it?
I think, and I shouldn't do this because I haven't watched Boston play, but I've watched the game last night, listened to the commentary. I think we're almost in the exact same spot, right? Like we want to stay in the penalty box, and we got to get somebody to the net because we're not generating a lot off that. We're a little concerned about our offensive game right now. Want to play with speed and physicality. I think this is the end of a 5-game road trip. They're coming back off the West Coast. Usually, if you put teams into that situation, it might be a bit of a dog. But I don't think that happens between Boston and Florida. It's some of the most intense physical hockey, and that's been true for 3 years. So we both need a game that we walk away from the game. We need the win, they need the win. But you want to walk away from the game and go, our game was right. Our game was right. Things happen, you don't have to worry about it. We're both kind of thinking we're just under the bar on some things, and what's identical? We won the first 3 games, started feeling a little too good about ourselves probably, and then the game humbles us as it always does.
Well, when you watched that game last night, did you see a big difference in this Boston team than the ones of the last few years?
I think it is just too early to tell, and that's what the regular season, you develop. Everybody has an identity. I think they're true to it. I think they play hard. They've got some really dynamic guys. But your identity is built over the year. Even if you bring the same players back like we did, whether it's injury, schedule, all those things, I think I think there's pieces of their game they probably like an awful lot, and they should. I think it gets magnified a little bit, your game, if special teams are kind of not working for you as much. You're not scoring quite as much on the power play, or you're giving one up. That kind of amplifies what you're doing. But I think, like all teams, we're searching, as we were last year at this time. I think we were 4-3-1. So we're not far off our tour last year. And we had some unusual ones in that first 7, so we're working on our game too.
Will, do you expect tomorrow night to be as intense as years past, given that you guys have just 1-2 and Boston is where Boston is, and can Brad being on the other side of it maybe change that?
I don't know. My expectation is, why would something change that hasn't? So we would just assume past would tell us that this will be pretty fast, pretty physical, and I think a lot of times special teams does make a difference in this because there's usually power play opportunities for both teams. So I do think that our history comes out. Yeah, I think it's physical, it's fast.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, guys.